What's up, everybody? Welcome to Winning Wednesday. Today, we're going to talk about how we are winning, positivity only. Well, it's always positivity only, and what you can do to set yourself up to continue winning for the rest of the year and the rest of your life. So, with that being said, I'm going to switch right over to good news. So, I like looking at good news. You know, news these days, pretty much none of it is good. But if you do look, you can't find good news. And one of the places I do like to go to is the goodnewsnetwork.org. You can take a look at it. They have all sorts of different topics. You know, it's a full-blown news site, but only good news. So, with that being said, one particular article that I read, I was posted about 10 days ago actually, is that the COVID-19 trends across much of the US and the world for that matter seems to be decreasing. And you can go ahead and read this article. I'll actually put the link to the article below. But basically saying that cases have stabilized and in most cases actually have dropped pretty well, or pretty much. So when you see here a lot of statistics that have been coming out from the CDC, hospitalization rates and so forth, cases have been on the decline. And then in addition, in other countries around the world, which were and as you can see here, in a broader sense, taking into the account of other illnesses in the U.S. based on death certificate data, the percentage of deaths attributed to pneumonia, influenza, or COVID-19 for week 35 so far, starting March 1st, dropped more than 4% from the previous week, from 10.7 down to 6.6%. In addition, in other countries such as in the UK, number of people in the hospital with COVID-19 have plummeted 96% since the peak of pandemic, according to the Times in the UK. And you can research this for yourself. You know, if you do some research, you will find the real numbers and you will see this is true. In addition, other places, you know, throughout the U.S., as I said, you know, have been on a steady decline, and as well, want to focus on one particular location that was very hard hit at one point. It was the epicenter at one point, actually. Italy now has really almost fully gone back to normal, in the sense that they're down to a count of about 10 deaths per day in a country of 60 million people, when they had a peak of, at one point, you know, basically almost 1,000 people a day at the height of the pandemic in the beginning part of the year, or the springtime. So with that being said, you know, what does this mean? I mean, other than, yes, it's good news that you know, hopefully we are getting past this virus. And I don't want to say getting past as in the virus is going away or it's going to disappear. No, I don't believe that foolishness. But I do believe that this virus is going to be something that is a stabilized, normalized part of life, in the sense of, or for example, influenza, you know, the flu. Yes, the flu is still deadly. Yes, you still can get very sick from the flu, and you can still die from it if you don't treat it, and also if you have other underlying conditions, elderly people and so forth. Some people are more susceptible to serious consequences from getting influenza than others. This is similar. It is a worse disease. It affects you in different ways, and in addition, you know, obviously there's no vaccine for it. You know, the flu, there is flu vaccines and things of that nature. I mean, these are the obvious things we all know. But what I'm trying to say is that basically, in my opinion, you know, we've been dealing with this as a species. Forget about countries and you know, backgrounds and demographics, whatever. As a species, the human species, we've been dealing with this for about, at this point, almost a year. You know, really about like 10 months, 11 months, when it started in China, you know, in November of last year. So, you know, I feel like at this point, we're getting to the point as a species worldwide, and we're so well connected these days with the internet, that, you know, we know what it is, you know, what the possible negative side effects of it can be, you know, what the worst case scenario could be, who is most susceptible and vulnerable to it, and how we need to try and protect ourselves. And, you know, of course, there's, you know, extremists on both sides of, you know, of that aisle. Who would, you know, say different things. Some people think that it doesn't exist at all and it's just a government conspiracy. Others think that it's, you know, like, you know, basically we're all gonna die. It's a bubonic plague, you know, because the news keeps telling them that we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. If you don't wake up out of bed, and, or actually no, if you don't just wear a mask the whole time, you're just, that's it. Like, sleep with a mask, eat with a mask, take a shower with a mask, drive your car with a mask, that you're gonna die, which is not true either, obviously. So what does all this mean, basically? In my opinion, I believe that, realistically, cases are down. The numbers don't lie. Women lie, men lie, numbers don't lie. The cases are down, and as well, the U.S. response, in my opinion, has been extremely, extremely political. You see other countries, how they've dealt with it, what their results have been, and then you see the U.S. response and how they have dealt with it. In my opinion, our response here in the U.S. has been extremely political. Both, parties trying to use it to bash the other and then make themselves look good and so forth. So, keep your head on a swivel, and obviously take everything that you see in the news with a grain of salt. Again, why I try to avoid all the other bullcrap news channels just shoving a negativity down your throat, seems like, or at least most of them. And what else does this mean? In my opinion, this means big things for business, because businesses, a lot of them who have been shut down for a while, they're starting to reopen. The ones that obviously survived. Others, that were open throughout this, they're starting to, get back in certain aspects to COVID production levels, and starting to ramp their business back up again. Obviously, once again, here in the U.S., we're a little bit restricted. Not restricted, but a lot of businesses are kind of waiting to see what's going to happen next month with the election, which is always the case in election year, but this time even more so, it seems. But with that, I mean, what this means in a nutshell, to summarize, the cases are down, businesses are starting to go back to what they need to be and where they need to be, and what this means for the average person or the business owner, in general, is that you have different services and products that you can provide to these businesses, things that they need. And right now is the time to go out and figure out what that is. So whatever industry you may be in, or whatever product you sell, service you sell, marketing is a very general term, but anybody who's in a marketing field right now, you definitely have so many different opportunities. Yes, there's a lot of businesses that are struggling, but there's a lot of businesses that they're looking to get back to where they were, and they're looking to step it back up, so you can provide them with those services, and there's plenty of other things out there as well. But I think overall, we are winning, definitely. I think that we are going to move past this, and I think that right now there's plenty of opportunity, especially in businesses and industries that are really starting to reopen. One that comes to mind particularly for me is travel. I haven't traveled much this year. Even though I know people are traveling now lately, as of the last couple of months, a little bit more. I do plan on taking some travels towards the end of the year, but what I'm trying to say is these things that just a couple months ago were really shut down, basically, these industries, they're starting to open back up. There is a demand for products and services that are needed, and as well, from an investment standpoint, if you're into that as well, also want to consider, some of these companies that they're still down 60-70% on the year, if they're industries that are going to be opening back up again, potentially there's going to be an increase there of a capital flowing into the revenue flowing to the business, and obviously the business stock should go up. So with that being said, guys, that's it for today's first episode of Winning Wednesday, Daily Smoke episode 3, and I will be back with you tomorrow, same time, same place, for Think About It Thursday. I had to think about it. All right, guys, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.